108 minutes to quarantine failure. Master
Iteration.
caution. Reset. No current
2.
alarms. Vault temperature
0.
within normal parameters. Vault
1.
pressure within normal parameters.
4.
Vault humidity within normal parameters.
0.
Vault integrity test
3.
report secured.
1. 3. 2. 1. 0. 0.
Talk show.
We'll do it live!
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Manual override achieved. For station uplink, enter 3, 2.
Hello, I'm Sergeant Perino, and you're listening to a communication from Station 7, or The Door. Station 7 is a sociological experiment in progress for members of the Dharma Initiative and fans of Lost and The Walking Dead. So we're going to go ahead and open up our lines for anyone who wants to communicate.
Opening communications channel. Waiting.
Well, Lost is over.
Satellite uplink established.
But it turns out Damon and Carlton's prediction was true.
What's really fun is to actually have a character back who is dead, but isn't really dead.
When someone dies on Lost, they're dead. And that's really it. Like, we're not trying to be sneaky and they're going to come back as a zombie.
Year 7, you're going to regret that zombie comment.
I am really going to regret that. Year 7 is actually, the subtitle is Lost Zombies. And it's just everybody who we've killed off over the years coming back and trying to eat.
It'll be cool. It'll be like Stephen King's.
When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk here.
So today we're going to react to episode 48 of the hit series on AMC, The Walking Dead. The title of the episode is Alone. We'll rate the episode, give our initial thoughts, critique things a bit, and follow that up with the Walker of the Week, the Roger Award, and our survival scenario. Next, we'll make some predictions for what we think might happen next. These predictions will be spoiler-free and will not make any reference to the comic book series that The Walking Dead is based on. Finally, we'll compare and contrast between the TV series and the comics in our 3-minute spoiler section. Without further ado, let's get to it. But first, a word from our sponsors.
This week's episode is sponsored by the amazing Chinese shovel. Think it's just a shovel? No! It slices, dices, digs, picks, parries, pliers, screws, hammers. It's the only tool you'll ever need. Much more than a shovel. It's the amazing Chinese shovel.
Okay, let's see who we've got on the line tonight.
Incoming transmission from Methodic John.
Hello.
Hey, Methodic John, how you doing?
I am great. I'm excited. Great episode. Ready to talk about it.
Excellent. Okay, who else we got?
Incoming transmission from Mr. Good.
Hey, Mr. Good, how are you doing this evening?
I am doing well down in Pound, Virginia.
Pound, Virginia.
Home of Gary Powers.
Gary Powers. I understand.
Who Gary Powers is.
He's a hero of yours, I understand?
Well, he was shot down in the U-2 plane.
Ah, pretty cool. Was that, who did that? Was that you?
I did not shoot him down, no.
That was, they made that movie about him, right? Black Hawk Down?
No, that was the U-2, the spy plane by the Russians. The Soviets shot him down.
Blackbird Down, that's right. Blackbird Down? No.
I don't think they ever made a movie of him.
It's a pretty cool movie. All right, well,
yeah.
Well, okay, who else we got?
Incoming transmission from Michael.
Hey, Michael, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing fine.
Are you down in Pound, Virginia as well?
Am I in what? Virginia? No.
Pound, Virginia?
No.
Where are you at?
In my home.
Where are you at, dog? Are you at the Pizza Hut or the Taco Bell?
I'm in my home.
Okay. That's good. That's good. Good place to be. Okay, who else we got up there?
Incoming transmission from Mr. Bad.
Hey, Mr. Bad, how are you today?
Excellent. Like Methodic John, I am raring to talk about this great episode. I thought it was a wonderful episode. Really happy about this season.
Okay, all right. Are you also in Michaelstown or Town, Virginia? One of those two places?
I'm in the zone, so to speak. I guess metaphorically, I am at home. And I am with my family. Spirit. Pound is where my mom was born down in Virginia, and I'm in Northern Virginia. So I'm part Virginian. The part that fought for the Union and against the goddamn Confederates.
Oh, the South will rise again, son.
Good. It'll give us Yankees something to do then, come down and burn, Savannah again.
Get beat by Yankees. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. Okay, well, it sounds like we're ready to go, so let's go with that first thing that we do, whatever it is. Okay, alone. Bob has a flashback. We see what Bob's life was like on the road before Rick's group found him. He stumbles around with a machete, hiding from zombies and drinking himself to sleep with NyQuiladas until Glenn and Daryl finally find him on the road. They ask him the questions, and upon asking if he wants to come with them, he agrees without hesitation. We learn that for Bob, anything is better than being alone. Back in the present, Bob, Maggie, and Sasha are surrounded by a dense fog with zombies in it. It's a desperate fight, and it looks like Bob gets bitten. Afterwards, he says the zombie only got him on the bandage on his wounded shoulder. Maggie wants to get moving, but Sasha wants to wait for the fog to clear. Bob agrees with Sasha. Maggie is discouraged that her compass broke during the fight, but Bob says they can just use the sun. They eventually walk on and come to some railroad tracks where Maggie spots one of the signs advertising Terminus. Maggie and Bob think they should go there. Sasha thinks it's too good to be true, but the group overrules her and starts following the signs. Later, while Maggie is away, Bob and Sasha argue. Sasha says that going on is too dangerous and instead they should find a building in a town to hole up in. Bob tells her that's not why she wants to stop. Tells her she doesn't know why she wants to stop. After making camp, they wake up the next morning to discover Maggie's left them. She overheard them talking about wanting to stop and decide not to burden them. Bob insists they hurry to catch up to her. Down the tracks, Maggie finds another sign for Terminus and kills a zombie to use its blood to write, "Glenn, go to Terminus, Maggie." As Bob and Sasha play catch-up, Sasha is annoyed by Bob's cheerfulness. Bob says he's just happy because he's not alone. They spot Maggie's sign, but still no Maggie. At night, Bob and Sasha try unsuccessfully to sleep with noises of cicadas, owls, and zombies. Bob correctly deduces that Sasha is afraid to go to Terminus because she is afraid of finding out that Tyrese might be dead. He tells Sasha she's one of the toughest and sweetest people he's ever met. They walk on, and Sasha spots a crap-hole building she thinks they should make their home. Bob insists he's not stopping, but Sasha insists she is. Bob says he wants to try something and kisses Sasha. Then he bids her farewell and walks on. Sasha goes up inside the shithole building and starts to realize that it is indeed a shithole. She cries, looks out a window, and spots Maggie on the ground outside. The window falls out and hits the ground, and suddenly zombies are everywhere. Sasha runs down to help Maggie, and the two manage to beat off the zombies. Maggie does especially well wielding a no parking sign like an axe. Maggie and Sasha beat off the zombies. Afterwards, Maggie tells Sasha that she was waiting for them. Sasha finally admits that she's afraid, and the two head off to find Bob and go to Terminus. Bob is happy to see the girls, hugs them, and off they go. Elsewhere, Daryl is training Beth in tracking and using the crossbow. She's getting better at it and identifies walker tracks. She tracks it to a clearing and discovers a zombie cop complete with gun. She approaches to shoot it, but steps in a bear trap. The walker attacks, but Daryl is on it quickly. He dispatches the walker and frees Beth, but her foot is hurt. Oh. Beth puts a gun on, and Daryl helps her limp to a nearby graveyard and funeral home. When she gets tired, Daryl gives her a piggyback ride. Oh. Beth wonders if there might be good people there, but Daryl says he thinks all the good people are dead. They have a quiet moment before a gravestone that says "Beloved Father," and Beth holds Daryl's hand. Oh. They go inside the funeral home and marvel at how clean and well supplied it is. Daryl thinks somebody's been maintaining it. They find a couple of corpses that have been fixed up mortician style and wonder at the mystery of it. In the kitchen, it's peanut butter jelly time with diet soda and pig's feet. Woo! Daryl deduces that this is someone's stash and decides they won't take all of it in case the person is still alive. Beth declares Daryl to be good people. Daryl responds by calling dibs on the pig's feet. Daryl strings up trip lines while Beth plays the piano and sings. Daryl walks in while she's singing and just stands there looking at her for a while before he gets self-conscious and clears his throat. She stops, and he tells her the building is secured. Daryl lays down in a coffin, declaring it is the best bed he's had in years. He tells Beth to sing some more. Beth says she thought that annoyed him, but Daryl lies and tells her it's just because there's no jukebox. The next day, Daryl romantically carries Beth to breakfast. Oh. Just as they're about to dig in, something knocks the trip line. Daryl goes to investigate and finds a small dog at the front door, but it runs away before Daryl can kill and eat it. Beth limps out wanting to see the dog, but it's already gone. Maybe it'll come back around, Daryl says. That night, Beth is planning to leave a thank you note for whoever stocked up the supplies, but Daryl suggests that maybe they just stay there together, and if the people show up, make friends with them. Beth asks Daryl what changed his mind about good people still being around. Daryl gives Beth some furtive looks and says, "You know." Beth says, "What?" Daryl stares into Beth's eyes and says, Beth says, "Don't, What changed your mind?" Daryl just stares dumbly, and after all, Beth says, "Oh." Outside, they suddenly hear the trip line again and the dog barking. Daryl grabs the pig's feet, goes to the front door, and opens it without any caution whatsoever, and finds a shit ton of zombies right outside. He tries to shut the door, but the zombies are overpowering him. Beth runs in and tosses Daryl his crossbow. Daryl tells her to grab her shit and go out a window. Beth says she won't leave him, but Daryl says he'll meet her in the street. Zombies are inside the house and going after Daryl in some intense close-quarters combat. Daryl manages to fight them off using the mortician tables and makes his way outside. He finds Beth's pack lying in the street and yells, "Beth!" as an old beat-up car suddenly speeds away. "Beth!" screams Daryl as he runs after the car. Night turns into day, and Daryl is still running frantically in the direction the car went. Exhausted, he finally collapses to the ground near some railroad tracks. Eventually, 6 tough-looking armed men walk up to him. It is the crew that invaded Rick's house. Daryl manages to get the drop on their leader, the tennis ball guy, whose name is Joe. But his crew have their weapons all pointed at Daryl, ready to fire. Joe is pleased that Daryl is a bowman through and through. He tells Daryl that pulling the trigger on his crossbow would be committing suicide and says, "Why hurt yourself when you could hurt other people?" Daryl lowers his weapon, apparently joining Joe's crew. Elsewhere, Glenn discovers one of the signs for Terminus. So, what did you guys think of this episode? How many stars would you give it, Masada John?
I'd say a good solid 9, maybe 9. It's good.
Oh, okay, solid. Okay. How about you, Mr. Good?
Well, last week I thought the season was taking a turn for the better. I was wrong.
You did not like the episode.
Well, the amount of coincidence that can be used within the show has built up to my tolerance for coincidence has reached its boiling point. I think they use too much coincidence. I'm just tired of. I give it a 5.
Don't mistake coincidence for fate, Mr. Good. What if everything that happened there happened for a reason?
Why were there a horde of zombies at the door?
Maybe somebody pulled a governor maneuver and put them there in order to create a distraction and grab Beth and take off with her.
It's just a coincidence that, people nab Beth at the same time, that they get chased out of the safe house.
Well, as I'm saying, maybe it's not a coincidence. Maybe that was all set up.
Maggie stupidly splits up the entire group, and coincidentally, they happen to find each other again.
Well, they are following railroad tracks. I mean, she doesn't seem to be deviating. They're just moving in a straight line.
Hard coincidence.
How about you, Michael? How many stars would you give this episode of 10?
Oh, would I give it?
Yeah.
I would give it 7.5.
7.5. Okay.
Because I agree. I thought there was way too much coincidence. Like, I think the entire episode was pretty much ran on coincidence. Like, what is it? She just happens to find Maggie, like, just laying there. Or, like, they meet up. I mean, they were on the railroad tracks, but, like, they meet up. I didn't really like that. Or, like, Beth just happens to find some car that has the keys in it and just drives off. And they have to leave, like, that suspense for no reason.
So you think that Beth actually drove off the car? You don't think somebody snatched her?
Someone might have snatched her, but, like, actually, that's a good point. Like, something might have happened, but still, it's just too much, I guess. And Daryl happens to run in. I actually didn't know that those were the people that attacked the house. Now I do. So he just happens to run into those guys.
Yeah,
I don't know. It was still a good episode. Like, overall, it's just that brought it down a little bit.
Okay. All right. How about you, Miss Bad? How many stars you give it?
I'm in complete agreement with Messiah John. I loved it. I was torn between a 9 and 10. I can't think of anything I didn't like, so I'm going to give it a 10.
Okay. Wow. Okay. And I myself will give it a 9. I thought it was real solid. The only thing that I thought was a little hinky was Sasha kept keeping wanting to stop and not going to tournament. I mean, I guess that's an emotional reaction on her part that's just not very logical, but it bugged me a little bit that she had this thing about not wanting to go there.
I'm in complete agreement with you there, Sergeant, because that was one of my the only thing I didn't like. I thought Sasha was acting like an ostrich. She just wanted to put her head in the sand, as it were, really, and ignore it.
She said she wanted to go to the top of a tall building.
Yeah,
that was her plan.
Grow some shrubs.
And I like that they really drive home how shitty that plan was too.
The first window she comes to, coincidentally, touches and falls out.
Yeah.
Coincidentally. Yeah. Otherwise, she would have never met Maggie, who was laying there pretending to be a zombie.
Yeah. Well, as soon as she looked out the window, she saw her out there.
Yeah.
Which was kind of weird.
I think when she said it might be Maggie, and then it hits, and then, like, when the glass hitting the concrete wakes Maggie up, and then she knows it's Maggie.
Well, no, what I think happened is she was up there. She pulled out the compass to look at the busted compass, which happened to be, when she was looking at it, that just happened to be one line of sight through the window where Maggie was lying down. She saw Maggie, and then she reached forward to open the window, and that's when she touched the window, it just friggin' fell out of the frame, I think. That's what it looked like to me. Well, anyway, what worked and didn't work in this episode for each person. We'll let you go first again, Methodic John. What worked and didn't work?
It worked how each of the groups in this episode, each of the pairings, all had to come to grips with something and get past it. So it was deal with something and then move past it. That was a nice little plot narrative. What didn't work was, I'm going to say, the naivety of a certain character when he just opens the door and expects just there to be a dog. That doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's just a dog. There's no way there could be anything remotely scary behind this door when I open it.
Yeah,
that didn't work. I felt like that was a bit much. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
That was kind of bonehead move on Daryl. Even as he was going for the door, like even as I'm like, hey, well, you know, aren't you going to open that a little bit carefully?
Yeah.
Yes, it's a dog barking. You don't know what it's barking at. Oh boy.
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah, what you got?
Why weren't the walkers making any noise? It's like you couldn't even hear them at all.
Well, say it again, Michael.
So, you know the zombies outside the door? Like, Daryl opened. Why weren't they making any noise? Like, they were just, like, waiting there as if they knew he was on the other side.
I like the way they were just all kind of standing up there. They weren't, like, banging on the door or anything.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It looks almost like a group of trick-or-treaters just, like, waiting for you to hand them some candy or something.
I don't know. I thought they were dumber than that.
Yeah. It was kind of weird. It didn't seem natural to me that the way they were clustered up there like that. See, we were working doesn't work, and
Incoming transmission from Mrs. Drano.
Hey, Mrs. Drano, how's it going? Let's see, just to play catch up for a second. How many stars did you give the episode?
Yeah, about 5.
5 stars.
About
Not
5
feeling
stars.
Feeling about as much as Mr. Good did. Actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Mr. Good was crazy. He said there was too much coincidence in the episode. And what worked and didn't work for you for this episode, the wife?
Not a whole lot really worked very well in this episode for me.
Yeah.
I'm not a hater. This is like the first one since it started up again that I really, not really feeling it. I feel like it's slipping.
Mrs. Drano is not a big fan of the Beth Darrow stuff, I think.
No, I mean, my philosophy on that is, I mean, I know the rules are different in the zombie apocalypse, and we need to repopulate the Earth, but I'm still not down with that whole 45-year-old and 11-year-old relationship, you know?
She's not 11.
I'm just not down with that. She should go through puberty first. She should flower.
You don't think there's grass in the field, Dave?
Maybe a little, but she should at least flower first.
Oh my goodness.
She's 27 years old, for Christ's sake. Jeez.
The actress is. The character looks about 11.
But she's not
18.
That's bullshit. They just play that because they're like, oh, well, she was just like 14, but we'll make her 18 now because, no.
She
doesn't have boobs.
Well, some girls just don't have boobs.
Well, she has no womanly shape at all.
Right.
She's at 11.
So.
And like every time they start hinting at like the Daryl Beth like budding relationship thing, it just makes me go ooh. Also, it's just that like Beth is not really one of my favorite characters, and I'm ready for her to go die now.
My goodness, Beth hater.
Yeah.
It's good in it.
Yes, yes. Well, first of all, I'd like to inform you that in Pound, Virginia, 35 and 70 is a fairly close age. I just have I just know a woman here who's 35 and just had a baby with a 70-year-old guy.
What's a 70-year-old? That's okay. Like a 35-year-old and a 70-year-old, hell, they're grown.
35-year split.
They can do what they want. They're grown damn people. But when she's like 11 and he's like 45, that's weird.
11? I think you're undercutting it a little bit there.
Nah, she looks about 11 to me.
In the zombie apocalypse, 11 is the new 20.
Since I'm not actually there in the zombie apocalypse, it does make me cringe a little bit every time they start like holding hands or doing whatever cutesy shit. I'm like, ew.
Well, we might have to. That's good. We might have to steal that line and put it on a T-shirt for you, maybe.
11 is the new 20.
In the zombie apocalypse, 11 is the new 20.
That would have been just like a fast part Daryl or something.
Oh, that would be funny to me.
That would be funny.
Well,
Okay.
I can tell you what worked. There was certainly what worked is the perfect picnic lunch. Perfect picnic lunch in the zombie apocalypse is Diet Pepsi and pig's feet.
Do you put the pig's feet in the Diet Pepsi like redneck ice cubes or something?
I don't think so.
You could, but I would keep it as a gnawing kind of food. I think you need to gnaw it up a little bit there.
Okay.
Kind of chunky.
Are you a fan of the pig's feet? Some people are.
I think they just threw up in my mouth.
My great uncle's always called it pig's knuckle, but no, I am not a fan of
knuckle and trotters.
Trotters. Maybe they're knuckles north of the Mason-Dixon line.
That's possible.
All right.
What did not work for me was Maggie. Now, Maggie's in a group of 3 people, and she's been in the zombie apocalypse long enough to know that if you break up a group of 3 into 2 and 1, everybody in that group loses. You know what I'm saying? A group of 2 is weaker than 3, 1 is weaker than 3, and the morons go after looking after her anyway, which is so it just seemed that did not work. That she and going to Terminus seemed to be like the thing to do anyway. Certainly not going up to a rooftop.
Uh-huh.
So I thought Maggie's decision to split up that little subgroup there really was a fiasco.
One thing that I didn't catch until I heard the guys over at Watching Dead talking about it was how it's kind of odd that Maggie's on her very focused hunt for Glenn and leaving messages for Glenn, but has not mentioned her biological sister at all or left any notes for Beth.
Maybe she's written off Beth,
I haven't. Died.
Oh, my goodness. Gosh.
She don't sing.
You don't like her singing and piano playing?
No, that's okay, but she just needs to go die.
Wow. Well, she's in Heat right now. She's got a 1.9,
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you remember when Swish wasn't fixed and she used to sing at all hours of the night?
I don't think Mr. Good remembers that.
No, I'm talking to you.
Oh.
Like, you remember how
I can imagine it. You're talking about a cat, right?
Yes. Yes, we're talking about a cat, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
All right, moving on. Michael, what worked and didn't work for you in this episode?
Well, I'll start with what did not work. Because there were a few things I didn't think worked. Obviously, all the coincidences I didn't think worked. Like, again, what Mr. Good was saying, was splitting up the group. He said everybody loses. I agree. None of that worked. Like, again, going to Terminus was like the whole plan or something, and Maggie just, like, splitting up for no reason at all, but, like, to find her lover, Glenn, is it's like a love story, pretty much. I mean, and this is
like the special love episode.
Yeah.
We got Bob and Sasha. We got Maggie on her quest for Glenn. We got Daryl and Beth.
Rose.
This is a very special Valentine's Day episode.
And I'm just waiting for like zombies, the hordes of zombies, like to tear the relationships apart. Hopefully.
Yes, please.
Well, it is The Walking Dead. All right, Mr. Bad, what worked and didn't work for you?
I think you're all a bunch of haters. It was a great episode, and I really am enjoying Beth and Daryl's, budding emotional relationship. I like the idea last week that they actually both might be virgins, and Daryl is very emotionally distant.
She probably lost that like a year or two ago when she was like 9 or 10.
Damn.
Probably to Carl.
But speaking of that, another piece of trivia I heard. Yeah. Another piece of trivia I heard is apparently Norman Reedus has stated in interviews that in his mind he's playing Daryl Dixon as a virgin. So
I'm pretty sure Norman Reedus is a virgin. I need to make a man out of him.
At least in Norman Reedus' mind,
it's on my gimme list.
Daryl is actually a virgin. So we'll see. Of course, the writers could always take that in a different direction. But that fits for me. That makes sense based on the way he's acting and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, Yeah, his background with Merle, Merle didn't give a rat's ass about him, and I think that's a very good, interesting take.
It would be funny if Beth has got more experience than he does, though. Attended drinking games, but didn't drink. Yeah, right.
right. I thought that was funny.
Downs moonshine and doesn't even get a hangover or anything while Daryl is yelling and pissing in the corner.
Well, let me give what worked here before you haters get back on a rail.
Okay.
I thought the music starting off the episode and ending the episode was great. I liked seeing Bob Stokey by himself. That was a very good, interesting flashback. And the second there, I didn't even recognize him. And I thought, oh, geez, Daryl's got his bike back, and they ended up with Glenn. What was going on?
That really threw me for a loop too. For a while, I was like, well, it looks kind of like Bob. I think that looks like Bob, but like, where is everybody else? It really threw me until they finally, until Glenn and Daryl showed up at the end and revealing that this is actually a flashback. So that was really neat. Another Pulp Fiction type moment there.
On the flashbacks, I think they need to be a little more like, you don't have to like watch 5 minutes of it to finally realize it's a flashback. You know what I mean? I don't really like that. I think that they should just like be clear about it.
I don't know. I liked it. I liked the twist of being disoriented, and then the
what got me was when they started asking the 3 questions. But like that was pretty cool. But still, I was still pretty far into it. Yeah.
I really liked that too. I think that might be the first time I've actually heard somebody answer the question. A lot of times you hear them ask them, but I guess the Irish zombie chick, I guess she kind of answered him, but this was like the first time I've seen the whole process of them finding new people, finding a new person, asking the questions, and getting the answers from them. I like that. It's pretty key.
One thing you picked up on the NyQuil, Sergeant, but he was actually eating sterno too at one point.
Eating sterno?
Eating sterno, yes.
Is that even possible?
Don't you remember the Andromeda strain, where the one guy in there was the sterno drinker and he was all fucked up?
Was that 70s movie?
Yeah, about the comet that comes down and brings a plague, and they hole up in this secret underground base to try to figure it out. And,
me and the wife tried to watch that a couple months ago, and
Andromeda strain?
We made it about 10 minutes, and we had to turn it off.
Anyway, that was actually sterno. I checked it. It was he was digging into that pink can. That was sterno. So he was really messed up, man. He was doing anything to distance himself or get whacked, I suppose. I loved it.
He was the Tyrone Biggins of the apocalypse.
Who the hell is Tyrone Biggins?
Have you heard the name before? Does anybody know?
Never. Biggins. It's not Baggins, so no, I have never heard of that. It's
one of Dave Chappelle's characters that he would do. It's a guy who he really likes crack. He's Dave Chappelle's crackhead character who basically a homeless crackhead guy who goes around having adventures and is very happy about his life even though he's homeless. No shame at all. Love me some rocks.
Oh my goodness. I thought the creepy funeral home was great. I really thought it was creepy. I disagree with Beth completely about the prepping the bodies. I was wondering if maybe the people he was prepping were actually the funeral home directors. Maybe he was just an amateur at it. But I'm really interested in finding out who snatched Beth. I thought that was very chilling too. So I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
Cannibals. And did you notice too? I think the dog only had one eye. Did you see that?
Yes.
Yes, I did see that.
I also heard that apparently that's a real life hero dog. Anybody else hear that?
Yes.
It was missing an eye, you mean?
Yes, it saved its owner from a carjacking.
Yeah, for real. That's pretty cool.
For real, yes.
Yeah. Where did they, I heard that's another thing I heard on another podcast. Was that on like a behind the scenes thing or something?
They mentioned it on the Talking Dead show.
Cool. Let's see, what worked for me? Character moments, as usual. I really liked Bob's flashback. I really liked hearing the questions. And I like the relationship between Daryl and Beth, unlike my wife. What can I say? I'm rooting for those two crazy guys. And what didn't work, like I already said, I thought Sasha's behavior was kind of nonsensical. It looked a little weird to me. This is kind of nitpicky, but in the flashback, Bob's wandering around all homeless style, and he's got a goatee, but the rest of his face is clean shaven. He doesn't have any stubble at all, so I thought that was a little off. And I didn't really like Maggie putting her bare hands into the zombie's chest cavity to get its blood out. Doesn't seem like a very smart thing to do with, cuts and stuff. And I noticed today for the first time that Daryl's crossbow, he doesn't actually have any sights on it at all, so I don't know how anyone expects to aim the thing and hit anything with it.
He's a badass.
He's a badass. He's just a point-shoot guy. Yeah. That's how much of a bowman through and through he is. All right. Smartest, dumbest. What was your smartest, dumbest, Mr. Bad?
Oh, starting with me. Daryl was smartest and dumbest. The dumbest was, of course, in the funeral home, opening the door without checking, looking out ahead of time. And I also thought it was dumb, Maggie leaving on her own. I thought that was dumb, but I thought it was understandable. And Daryl was smartest in the way he fought off the zombies when he was in the funeral home basement, using the gurneys to block and any handy weapon to stab. It was very tactically aware.
Yeah, that's true. Michael, what was your smartest, dumbest?
My smartest? I'll start with dumbest. My dumbest was Sasha having her plan to grow shrubs and get on some giant building and, wait it out.
Yeah. Okay.
Grow shrubs. And smartest, I would say, you can come back to me for the smartest. I'll think of something.
This is going to get hard to remember. Mr. Good, what was your smartest, dumbest?
Okay, my dumbest is when Sasha gets a big kiss from Bob. You're in a zombie apocalypse, the number of pairings, she seems to like the guy, but then she doesn't go with him. That's the dumbest thing I ever saw. I mean, geez, you got a group of 3 people there, and then she decides, oh, what's better is I'm going to go up by myself and go to the top of the building.
Now, was it Sasha who was dumb for refusing to go with Bob, or was Bob dumb for leaving Sasha behind to go look for Maggie?
I think they were both dumb. I think they were equally dumb for leaving each other behind.
Okay. So what do you think Bob should have done at that point with Sasha insisting on stopping and Maggie somewhere up ahead, supposedly, on her way to Terminus? What would you have done in Bob's place? What was the smart thing?
Well, he needed to look, sweeten the pie a little bit. The kiss was not enough. He needed to go all the way with her. And say, hey, if you want to go that, baby, you're going to have to come along, That's what I would have done.
Oh, okay.
But the dumbest,
would you already just give us the dumbest?
I just did dumbest.
Michael stole my dumbest, which was...
That's okay. We can have the same dumbest. That's all right. That's my dumbest, too, actually. Sasha, not,
What's your smartest?
He just has 2 dumbest. He doesn't have...
the smartest. Oh, smartest. The smartest thing Bob said... I have to go with a quote. The smartest thing that Bob said was when Sasha was hugging him, and he said, I didn't say stop, I just said, ah!
That was pretty smart.
That was pretty smart, yeah, Keep going there, baby, keep going.
He's a Mr. Smartmouth.
Okay, I got a smartest.
Okay, what's your smartest?
At the end, when Daryl plays it cool against those crazy bastards that found him on the road.
Okay. Good one. All right. Okay, Mrs. Draino, what's your smartest dumbest?
My dumbest would be the writers for trying to push Beth and Daryl together. Literally figuratively. And I guess my smartest would be Beth running off with whoever was in that car at the end to escape Daryl warning all over her.
Let's see. My smartest was Maggie using the zombie blood to write big messages up on things that would probably stay there pretty well. I thought that was pretty smart. I didn't think it was too smart using her bare hands to scoop out the blood from the zombie chest cavity, but the actual idea of leaving big messages with zombie blood as ink, I thought that was pretty good. And the dumbest is, like everybody else has said, Sasha refusing to go with Bob's thermos and instead wanting to stay in some crap hole building with nothing in it. I thought that her moment of realization there, and she goes upstairs, looks around, and starts to cry. Yeah. Okay. What sorts of questions were raised in this episode, and anybody got any ideas as to, what the answer to these questions might be? I think there were several questions in this episode.
Do you want to talk about the guys at the end, or the kidnapping / or maybe she just drove away?
Oh, we can. Yeah, let's start with the car that drove off with apparently Maggie in it, Beth in it. Because I guess technically we don't actually know that she's even in the car.
Cannibals in there.
I think it would be safe to assume that she's in the car. Whether she's driving it or in the back, you don't know.
Well, I don't think she could really be driving it, because I don't think she would drive off and leave Daryl. I mean,
you're right, but he did say leave me. Although I still don't think she would make a split-second decision like that.
Well, he told her to get out of the house, but then he also told her he'd meet her in the street. So I don't picture her peeling off of the car, leaving him there, also with her backpack left in the street too. So
yeah, I guess
like she'd been snatched. But I've heard some people say that it looks like there is like a cross symbol on the trunk of the car. I'm unconvinced. Like, some people initially thought it was a hearse or some kind of rescue vehicle, but it looks to me just like a trick of the shadow or something. It looks to me just like an old beat-up car with maybe some funky antenna on the back. Did anybody else notice like a cross kind of shape on the back or anything? Anybody?
No, sorry. I didn't notice any cross. I just noticed it was an old, late model car, a big one.
A late model car?
Yeah, it was an older car, big
older car.
Yeah.
Or early model car.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
It was an old car.
So Mr. Good thinks that cannibals have got her.
Yes, and they were actually impregnating her in the back of the car, and they're going to eat her baby.
He's right.
So was the car being driven by Carol, you think?
Yes.
Yes. The queen of cannibals.
So what do the rest of you think? Anybody got any ideas about whose car this is? Like, do we think that...
it's Merle's car.
It's Merle's car?
They're playing Sweet Jazz.
It's Merle's car, but clearly it's not Merle, because Merle, shot in the head by the governor.
You never know.
Might be Zombie Merle. Well, no, because we saw Daryl.
Yeah, we saw Daryl kill Zombie Merle.
Gratuitously, yes. Do we think the car belongs to the same guys that encounter Daryl at the end, or do we think it's somebody else? Anybody got any thoughts on that?
Isn't this bad? I thought it was the person who was holed up at the funeral parlor. I just took it to be their car, and he was coming back, and I thought that was his dog too, to be honest. And I liked your idea of the fact that he may have drawn the zombies toward the house to sort of screw whoever was inside what he thought was his house.
There's also some speculation as to whether this house was set up precisely to entice people to it so that they could then be snatched if it's some kind of honeypot, a trap for people. Any thoughts on that?
Ooh, a cannibal
Well, it sounds, I mean, like they did just leave food there. I mean, I guess some parties might be smart and they just dump it all in the back of a pickup and drive out of there. But
was it really pig's feet or was it baby's knuckles?
Baby's knuckles. It's too good all about the cannibals.
Baby feet.
Let's see. And who, I guess another question raised in this episode is, what in the world was the deal with those corpses in the funeral home? Why were they there? Who was maintaining those? And were they some sort of artiste, or was it some creepy Mama Jama who has kind of bizarre ideas about zombies? And I don't really have any gut feeling about that. That's just kind of odd.
I thought it was creepy. I thought the things that came to my mind were, some of the disturbing things we saw in the prison, mutilating, things, and we associate that with Lizzie. But I was thinking maybe, that there's a crazy person now. There's more than one crazy person in the zombie apocalypse, but I thought there was definitely a crazy person who holds up at the funeral home.
Okay.
What about...
What you got, Michael?
Wait 1 second. Okay, what about the guys at the end? Like, we know who they are, but what are they going to do with Daryl?
Well, it seems like he's being basically invited to join them. That's my impression. And Daryl, I guess, is playing that out for now, it seems like. What do you think, Michael?
Well, I think I said earlier that I actually did not realize it was those guys at the house, at Rick's house.
Yeah.
Until...
No, that wasn't those guys.
Yeah, that was those guys.
Oh, that's the same guys?
Yep, the Joe, the guy, he is the tennis ball bouncing guy.
Oh, I didn't catch that. No. Oh, those guys are sons of bitches. Oh, geez.
Yeah, because remember one of them even lays claim to Daryl's vest, just like they claimed the bed back at the house. How about I'll claim the vest? It's got wings. Yes.
Wait, did you see the guy that got knocked out? Remember him?
I think I did, but I'm not for certain. I saw one guy that looked like he had like a toboggan on, like a watch cap.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell for sure if that was the same guy, but I thought it might have been.
Inner party rivalries or conflict? I don't know.
Well,
they seem like a bunch of bastards either way, I say.
Well, let's see. I'm kind of ambivalent about whether or not to put this in the spoiler section or not, but I guess technically it's not a spoiler. One theory I have heard, apparently, you guys remember the episode where they invaded Rick's house, and when Rick first wakes up, he hears sounds from downstairs of somebody like begging, and then they like do something to the guy to hurt him or kill him or something, and the audio is really hard to make out.
Yeah.
Somebody went back and watched that with the closed captioning on, and apparently some of the things that are said, like there's reference made to a bow and references made to maybe this guy was given a chance but can't be trusted. There seems to be some hints that possibly it might be Daryl down there, and it's possible that the scenes in Rick's house actually chronologically happen after Daryl has met up with this group, which would be pretty amazing if that's what it turns out to be, I think, although
like,
pretty
it makes
disturbing.
sense, but it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean?
How so, Michael?
Well, it would, okay, for all the people that, like, don't know about that or haven't heard that, like that this caption stuff, it would completely throw off the story if they did pull that. Like there would need to be a lot of explanation. You know what I mean?
Well,
and like they would
have
have a lot of flashbacks, like maybe even like a free camera that pans downstairs.
Well, all they would have to do is have another Daryl-centric episode coming up in which Daryl goes with his group to the house, and it would be pretty obvious, I think. Pretty. I mean, it wouldn't be hard to show that. Oh my goodness, this is the house that Rick's upstairs in, and all that stuff.
Well, and then maybe Daryl will get away in the. This isn't really a prediction because there's nothing really for it to happen yet. Maybe Daryl will get away when Rick lets the zombie loose in the house.
Maybe, yeah, it's possible, yeah.
Maybe, and then maybe he will catch up with the Rick group, and they will all meet up at Terminus.
Possibly. This kind of playing around with the chronology, and the characters kind of crossing each other's paths. Boy, it's really reminding me of a certain other show.
Lost. Remind you of Lost. I have a question.
Yeah, what you got? Mr. Good?
If you get zombie blood in your eye or your mouth, does that infect you?
We don't know, but I would think that it would.
It did, and 28 days later.
Well, in World War Z, when he got it in his eye, it didn't do it, so you never know.
Is that Methodic John? Are you back, Methodic John?
Yes, I am.
Sergeant had some questions for you. He wants to know where you were, and did you get sterno for everybody?
No, I did not get sterno for everyone.
I want
sterno. What was your smartest, dumbest, Methodic John? I think that's where we were last with you.
The smartest was enjoying the house where where Daryl found all the goodies. Dumbest thing was opening the door like an idiot.
Yeah.
That was definitely the dumbest thing, I think, in that episode.
And do you have any theories or speculation about some of the questions this episode raised? Like, who do you think, whose car was that? And who's got Beth? And, was the whole funeral home, was the funeral home a trap or bait or what's going on there? What's the deal with all that?
I definitely feel like it seemed like it was too clean and too neat, so it feel like, and the person, and nobody came back, and no one seemed to stay. So I do think it could have been like staged to entrap people. I really kind of, for some reason, I had a flashback to Lost and thinking about how there could be like hidden cameras in there, like filming it, and like someone somewhere else is monitoring the behavior of people.
Wow.
Yeah, because it just seemed too perfect, and that I found that to be a little too coincidental. And I do feel like these individuals we've seen are going to somehow be tied into Terminus, and I'm not too excited about that because I just feel like it's more like the Governor BS trauma, and it's just played out in my mind.
So do you think the car is affiliated with these guys as well?
Yeah, I felt like the car was, they're all working for the same crew.
I have mixed feelings about that because on the one hand, it makes the most sense for that group finding Daryl because they saw him chasing after the car and then backtracked and just approached him on foot. But on the other hand, if they know that he is, affiliated with Beth and they just snatched Beth, there's no way in hell that they're going to let him become part of their group. And they seem pretty happy with recruiting a new bowman to the group. So I don't know. I'm not sure what to think about that.
Well, the only thing I would say to that is I think they're potentially exclusive things. Again, these could be scouts working on behalf of the larger Terminus population. They go out and scavenge resources, scouts. There could be a, nerdy type guy back at Terminus monitoring one of the safe houses. Geez. Where have you seen a nerdy type guy before?
Wait a minute.
Wouldn't they need electricity or something? Yeah.
No.
If they were scouts, like, wouldn't you think they would be a little less ruthless, or like, you know what I mean? If Terminus was like a well-organized organization.
Depends on what their goals are, I guess.
You know, maybe it was one of Terminus's food caches. It would not
so the
be
house was a food cache.
It could be a very diabolical plot to, if you're having trouble finding supplies, and instead you're trying to find survivors and use them as supplies. That might be an interesting way of, then you might want to draw people into a trap. Take everything they have, Mike. Mr. Good's been talking about cannibals, or he's got cannibals on the brain, so, that would definitely fit that profile. But, it could be a very elaborate ruse to steal from people, have them walk into the spider's den and,
One more question. Those, remember the first guys that said to follow the railroad track, the guy that got bit in the neck and was like crying on the side of the road?
Right, yes.
Do you think he was going there for his first time, or he's been there before?
That's a good question. It almost seemed to me like I kind of got the impression that they were at Terminus and left it, and then the guy was regretting that they had left it and was telling our guys to go there. That was kind of the impression I got, that he was talking about they made a mistake.
Like he was talking about, like, go to Terminus as if he knew what was there. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes, that was my impression as well. And I've also heard a theory floated that that group might have been a group that was putting up the signs to go to Terminus, but I don't know that that's the case. But my impression was that they had been there and for some reason left and then realized too late that that was a very bad mistake. But I could be wrong about that.
Didn't they say somewhere in the episode, I don't know if it was not in the episode or in the episode, that remember the radio they heard when they were going, I think Bob said it, right?
42 minutes to quarantine failure.
They were...
Yeah, the radio transmission that Daryl's group heard in the car right before they encountered that huge herd of zombies on the way to the vet hospital. Bob was recalling that radio transmission was saying those who arrived survived. It was saying the same thing as it's on the signs for Terminus.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think that it could be, it being a giant elaborate plan to lure people in and cannibalism is possible, but I think based on what we've been given so far, it's unlikely.
Yeah. For me, I'd say if it is a con, I think it's along the lines of, I think what Steve suggested, maybe just to steal their supplies, to lure people in to just take their stuff. The cannibalism angle doesn't quite make sense to me because, I mean, I would think that if it's somebody who's doing cannibalism, I mean, I'd see that as kind of a last resort. I mean, if you have food to eat, I'd think that they would want to eat that food first, and the house had quite a bit of food in it, so I don't really get stocking a house with well-provisioned supplies just to catch somebody there so you can eat that person instead of eating the supplies.
The house was dusted.
Yeah, it's kind of weird too.
Again, like it just like it seems like you could get out of that too easily. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I wonder if we'll ever even get an answer on that.
I think next episode is going to have a lot of answers, unless they really focus on some character we have no care for.
Well, the preview makes it look like a Tyrese Karolets.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, just go to someone that literally has nothing to do with the current situation.
Leave us hanging for another week. Anybody got any more questions I think we're raising this episode, or speculation as to what the answers are to these things? Anybody? Or shall we move on? Guess not? Okay. Quotes. Anybody got any good quotes for this week? I have one. Does anybody else have any?
I have one.
Okay.
Al's talking to Beth, and he says, she's asking him about, like, the people who survived the apocalypse, and Daryl goes, I don't think the good ones survived.
Okay. All right. And I think Mr. Bad was next. What you got, Mr. Bad?
Let's see. I liked the conversation between Daryl and Beth. You know how she was saying that they're still good people. And then Daryl coming back. I don't think the good one survived. And then later on, you know, you had that moment where Daryl talks about staying at the funeral home and forming a group.
Disagree with me. Holy cow! I wonder what Rizzuto would say.
There have been a lot of agreements between you guys the last couple of weeks.
There's something wrong there.
So I thought that was interesting about him forming, you know, I thought that was a very nice moment between him and Beth, actually, where, you know, she's like prompting him, like, why do you think they're good people now? And it's basically, you know, because of her, you know, and so I think they're definitely having a moment there. Well, if they ever find her alive again, but
yes, my quote is in fact.
very elusive there. Very good great quote. I like Joe. I'll be donkey leg.
Yes, that was pretty good. About as good as Son of a Dick, I think. Yes. Does anybody else have any, or shall we move on to the Walker of the Week?
Oh, I had one more, Joe, when he said, suicide is stupid. Why hurt yourself when you can hurt other people? I mean, if that wasn't the clearest, I mean, he probably has that tattooed on his arm somewhere. Why hurt yourself when you can hurt other people, you know?
Seems logical in a twisted kind of way. All right, let's roll on with the Walker of the Week. Walker of the Week. Okay, this is the award we give to our favorite Walker of the Week, or to a character we think behaved in a manner no better than a Walker. So, who gets your award? Mrs. Drano.
Pass and come back.
Pass and come back. I don't know that person. All right, Mr. Bad.
My Walker of the Week, I was torn between Joe, bastard that he is, and the, I'm going to call him the stop sign zombie, you know, who Beth decapitated with the stop sign. I thought that was pretty good.
That was pretty great.
Yeah, okay. Methodic John.
I am going to go with the guy, the walker right behind the door and get stuck in the door. Because that walker was like stealth.
He absorbed radar emissions? Yes.
He's just like an amazing walker to be so awesome.
He was on whisper mode. Okay, Michael.
I was gonna do the sign guy, but now that someone else does it, I feel like I need to do something else.
Okay.
I guess I'm gonna do Daryl. I think Daryl is the Walker of the Week.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Opening that door at the wrong time, stupidly.
Yeah, and he's like wandering the street, and he just falls over from dehydration or something, and he just sits there for like 3 hours while the bad guys walk up to him casually.
Well, what would you do if you're somebody you love was snatched? Wouldn't you run till you drop?
Well, I would run, but I wouldn't run till I drop.
Maybe go find a vehicle or working vehicle somewhere.
Yeah, you gotta be smart.
11-year-old.
Because he ain't catching that car.
The 11-year-old comment.
Never gets old, does it, Eddie?
Freaking me out, man.
It never gets old, does it, babe? It never gets old.
Never
stays
will.
at 11 forever and ever.
Nope.
Oh, Walk of the Week. Okay, Mr. Good.
I agree with Methodic John. It's in the zombie apocalypse, it's hard to be scared of zombies. That zombie was terrifying. The one behind the door. Yeah, that was one of the scariest zombie moments. So I'd go with that one.
Oh, okay.
Well, because it was unexpected. Like.
Yes.
Okay. Mrs. Drano, did you give your Walk of the Week yet?
Oh, crap. No, I didn't. I don't know. I don't have a good choice for that one.
I'm going to give my award to whoever was driving that car that took off with Beth inside. We don't know who it was, but I give it to that person.
Okay, where's like the chat thingy and everything?
Oh, the chat thingy is, yeah. Okay, let's roll on into the Roger Award.
Roger, and there's a lot to get done before you can afford to lose me. Roger. We got this, man. We got this by the ass. Roger, move! Let's go, baby. You all right? Perfect, baby. Perfect. Roger! Roger, watch it! Whoa!
Okay, this is the award we give to the character that we think kicked the most ass in the episode, but also is a character who we think might potentially get killed off at some point in the story. They do not have plot armor. So who gets the Roger Award this week? Michael.
You know, I think Maggie is going to get it. I mean, she somehow she was
With the way
that flying around decapitating zombies as if she's done it before. And I think Maggie's going to die.
The way she beat off all those zombies.
Yes, she did. What did we talk about? Didn't we have a conversation earlier about phrasing?
I'm in favor of phrasing.
Yes, you are.
Okay, Maggie. Mr. Good, who gets your Roger Award?
Okay, in every horror movie, who do they always punish? The Luggers.
I was going to say the black guy.
So
they always punish the really stupid firstborn who are always deserving.
Daryl obviously kicked the most ass, and because he's fooling around with Beth, he's the one that's going to get killed.
Daryl? Is that what you said?
So Daryl gets the Roger Award. Okay.
Yes. Well, he was the badass when he met up with the group, and he was the kicking ass inside the funeral home. Yeah.
Yep.
And I think he is really in trouble with this group because he's not going to fit in well with them. Then, the first time they go and they start, killing somebody or raping somebody, he's going to have to do something.
Hey, maybe they'll force him to prove that he's a bad guy by making him, air quotes, rape Beth. And she can be like, no, don't. Stop that.
If they had a car, why would they travel around with it? They must have a base camp. And this Terminus seemed like it was really far away, or a long way to walk.
That's true. Maggie or somebody said that it looks far. Maybe it was Sasha who said it looks far. I mean, who knows what that means? That far for walking isn't far for a car, so who knows what she meant by that. Okay, Roger Award. Mrs. Trainer, who gets your Roger Award?
I don't really think anybody kicked a whole lot of ass in this episode, so I'm going with the dog.
The dog for his actions in real life?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Mr. Bed, Roger Award.
I'm going to have to go with Daryl. I think he's in a dangerous situation, and he's always kicking ass, and he really kicked a lot of funeral home ass, so I'm going to go with Daryl.
And you think he might die soon?
I think he's in a dangerous position, surrounded by all those bloodthirsty bastards, yeah.
You guys really are twin brothers this week. Tell you what.
It's hard to say, though, because, I think they kind of know that they're going to lose, 95% of their female viewers if they kill off Daryl.
Yeah.
Ooh, somebody's in love with Daryl.
Financially,
you don't like that. Oh, now we know why she doesn't like that. This hookup with Daryl and Beth.
Who's Beth going to go with next?
We're being called out. Drano. You hate Beth because you're in love with Daryl.
Yeah, I hit that. I don't love him. I just want him for his body.
Okay, you like him for his quarrel?
Sure.
Oh, man.
He's on my gimme list, sweetie.
Your gimme?
My gimme list is really long.
Am I on your gimme list?
Yes.
Oh,
well, you weren't, but you are now.
Damn it. Not another one.
Another one. Give me another sheet of paper.
We're going to have to open up the Excel spreadsheet again.
Yeah, pretty much.
Besides John, Roger Award.
Sasha.
Ooh. Kicking
some
butt
ass.
With her pole.
Kicking butt, but she's not going to make it.
He really knows how to work that pole to beat off zombies.
Yeah.
You're beating off zombies.
Bob's pole?
But, no, I think it's pretty sure it's Sasha's pole, which is kind of weird.
Sasha was working Bob's pole.
I'll bet she was.
And I'm going to give mine to Daryl as well. I agree with that. I mean, you can't deny the ass kicking. He kicked 20 zombie ass just getting out of that house.
That's true. He did. He did kick some ass.
He did. He wasn't even using his
forgotten about that because I was so distracted by his macking on 11-year-olds.
And for a second, I was even wondering if he might. I almost thought he was going to buy it in the house.
Yeah.
I thought that might be the end of Daryl. And that Beth might, I thought that might, I think I speculated a little bit last week that Beth's statement that Daryl was going to outlast them all might end up being bitterly ironic, and that Beth may outlast Daryl. I thought that it was going to happen right then when he was stuck in the house with all his zombies, but not yet.
He's a slippery little fellow.
Yes, he is. Let's see.
Does Mrs. Drano need a disclaimer like they have in porn films where they say all people here are 18 years or older?
I'm not saying the actress is underage. I'm saying the character is about 11.
What would you say the characters portrayed?
I don't know anything about porn. Sorry.
Mr. Good, speaking of porn films, have you seen that one, Up Your Ante?
No, I haven't seen Up Your Ante. I like The Teacher's Pet, though.
I'll take your question.
There's a man going around taking names.
These creatures cannot be considered. They prey on humans. They do not prey on each other. These creatures are nothing but pure, motorized instruments. We must not be lulled by the concept that these are our family members or our friends. They are not.
It's Alpha and Omega's kingdom come.
Okay, what do we have for zombie behavior? Michael, you have something, right?
Yes, I'll say it again. The zombies at the door were not following normal zombie physics and regulations.
In regulations? What regulations are they in violation of?
Well, more like laws. I guess regulations, like you have to, I don't know. Not like big words. Anyways, no, but like when the dog barked, they didn't go towards it. They just like stood still right there. You know what I mean?
That is a good question, because we do know that they are attracted to animals. They will attack animals if they can get hold of them. But and we hear the dog barking out there, but they're just standing up there at the door doing nothing, just facing.
And they're not making any noise. Like normally they make like weird like digestion or like mouth grumble. You know what I mean? And, but like there was like at least 10 of them, maybe 12, 15, and none of them made the sound.
23 minutes to quarantine failure.
I agree. That was.
And it's not like I think, and they had faster reactions than Daryl did to close. Like they were able to put pressure on the door before Daryl could close it. Like they were waiting for him. It's not like they didn't know someone was in there. So I didn't really like that.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I almost hate to attribute that to zombie behavior, because that bit just does seem kind of contrived to me. I kind of feel the will of the writer manifesting itself a little bit. I don't know. Anybody got any more thoughts on that, or shall we move on?
Oh, I'm told that zombies might be into water sports.
Should I ask why?
Because Carol keeps peeing on them, and they don't seem to mind.
Where's this Carol peeing on zombies thing come from?
That was in the show. You didn't see it?
No.
Shower?
Yeah, I mean, they're on fire. Sometimes they have to be put out.
What was this on the show? What?
You didn't see Carol pee on the zombie?
I don't think I did.
Oh, you must have been in the bathroom.
Have you been drinking Sterno there, Mrs. Drano?
No, what are we even talking about?
I think things have gotten a little bizarre.
So Carol was giving a golden shower to a zombie.
Before she was going to eat it, was that sauce for the goose?
Quite possibly.
If Carol eats a zombie, is that cannibalism, or are they considered a different form of life at that point? Form of life.
I am willing to let.
I said it's only a different life form if it's viral. If it's bacterial, I think it's the same basic life form. But if it's a viral disease that causes it, I think we'll characterize it as a different life form.
Okay.
Hey, I have something.
Okay, what you got?
Zombie behavior. These zombies don't seem to be able to bleed into any main character's eyes or mouth. Almost like it's scripted.
Well, the main characters do often get spattered in the face. I guess they're just kind of lucky.
Everywhere. It's all over them. White shirts are spattered. Their faces are spattered everywhere. They can wear a shield, and the face shield will become spattered, but it never goes in the eyes of their mouth.
They're positively humiliated with spattered gore from the zombies.
Well then.
All right. So one thing I wanted to ask about is, so let me get just to clarify the rules of zombie bites and infection. So if we recall, everyone has the virus, right?
That is correct.
If you die, you're automatically infected. You automatically turn because you already have the virus.
That is correct.
But being bit somehow,
yes,
unless the portion of the body where the bite occurred is quickly severed,
yes,
will also suddenly somehow effectively kill you and turn you into the same type of creature, right?
Yes, you're already infected, but if you get bitten by a zombie, for some reason that will generally kill you, at which point you reanimate.
And so then, just to understand, because we had a character get bit sort of, but not really today, right? We had a character get bit in a bandage, but not get infected, and we've had people with blood all over their face from slaying, and that somehow doesn't cause them to, quote, turn.
Right.
It's the rules of zombie behavior in terms of turning into a zombie are kind of...
And there seems to be some...
complicated.
We don't really know if they scratch you, if that could kill you, or if it's just specifically bite wounds that will generally do you in. And...
their saliva. Something in their mouth. Their saliva can turn you.
Yeah, maybe so. So maybe the blood doesn't turn you. Maybe it's specifically saliva.
I think it's blood.
Or kill you, rather.
They're venomous.
Weird thing.
When the brain goes zombie state, it creates an enzyme that gets in the blood that is secreted through the saliva.
Could be. Yep, enzyme.
The only antidote is Carol's pee.
But something Gun said is kind of interesting because I've always kind of imagined that the reason zombies are motivated to bite people is part of, it's part of this disease trying to perpetuate itself. But if everybody's already infected, and it seems clear that they are, then that doesn't really make any sense because the disease has been perpetuated. The only difference,
Well, Methodix Johns, he raises a good point, but there could be two forms of the virus. There could be an airborne form of the virus that infected everybody, and then there could be a contact form of the virus that you get from biting or transmittal of fluids. So there could be two different modes of transfer for these two different viruses that are slightly different.
Okay. It almost seems like there has to be two different diseases
Do you remember
working in tandem.
What was the movie with
28 Days Later?
No, not 28 Days. This was
28 Weeks Later.
28 Weeks Later.
No, I think it was 28 Weeks.
16
who's the African American? Thanks on a plane. He had the dog with him all the time. It was based on the man. Legend. Legend. Yeah, I thought it wasn't Legend. I am Legend. Thank you.
No, it's Legend with David Bowie.
No, that was Labyrinth.
That was Labyrinth. Oh,
no, Legend was
with Tim Curry.
Tim Curry, yeah. It's your 80s fantasy movie straight. It's great.
Oh, the Legend. Oh, that's right. With the black. Oh, I remember that one with David Bowie.
With the black?
That's not David Bowie was very dark, and it was like a catacomb.
Yeah, something like that.
I kind of remember that. Yeah.
15 minutes to quarantine failure.
Okay.
All right. So here, while we've been talking, here's something that I read.
Oh.
It said it's the consensus on this thing called the internet says that zombie bites cause death. Zombie bites cause fever. The fever is pretty much fatal in most people. However, there's, in theory, a potential to be bitten and survive the, quote, fever and then not die from the fever and then not turn into a zombie.
Huh.
Just saying. So I guess the step goes zombie bite, fever / virus / death, which is kind of makes sense, right? Because that's what happened at the prison. Everybody got sick, right? Yeah. And then your body wears down.
Yeah. So maybe like ordinarily a healthy human is able to sort of hold the zombie disease at bay, but if your body's weakened by something else, then
like
it gets
bite from a
type of
zombie.
deal.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
The zombie bite kills you because of infection or blood loss, not because of the zombie virus.
Very interesting.
From Robert Kirkman.
Oh, that's from Robert Kirkman himself. Whoa! Word of God! Word of God!
Word of God! Word of God!
What if you manage to cut off your arm? Let's say you get bit in the arm. Cut off your arm before the blood actually moves back to your heart.
Stop the infection.
Well, that's what they did with Herschel.
Yeah, so Herschel survived.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
For a while. Okay, let's roll on with the survival segment.
Give me that dog.
What do you mean?
I mean, give me that dog.
What are you going to do with him? You can't open the door to let him out. The bomb's liable to go off.
The dog's got to go. We're going to need every bit of air to breathe ourselves. After a while, we'll be laying on the floor to get fresh air.
But he's just a little dog. He doesn't breathe.
We can't have him here.
No.
Dog's got to go.
Don't you touch him. Wait a
Won't do you any good to cry. It's all over. A little while you'll be thanking me. Get rid of that dog and help an awful lot.
Oh, my God.
You'll be glad we don't have that extra pair of lungs when you're laying here gasping for breath.
You are Bob, and one member of your party has gone on ahead, leaving you two, the rest of the other two of you, a message to not worry about her. And you have been trying to catch up to her when the other member of your party wants to stop and live in a building. So how do you deal with this situation? What do you do if you're Bob? Mr. Good.
8 minutes to quarantine failure.
It's so easy. One of the party is married, and the other you just kissed and you're hot for, and she wants to go to a motel. Oh, you go to the motel.
Oh, so you go to her. You go up in the building with her, and then you I guess master her up in the building, and then after that she does whatever you want.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Okay.
What kind of scenario are we talking about here? Scenarios.
The Bob scenario. One of Maggie's going on ahead. Sasha doesn't want to go anymore. Wants to live in a building. What do you Bob do in that situation?
I guess you write off your menage a trois scenario.
Okay.
At least you're realistic there.
It's just realistic,
Bob,
yes.
No Bob sandwich.
No Bob sandwich.
No Bob sandwich.
Okay. But then again, what do you do if you're Bob in that situation?
I think you call her bluff.
Call her bluff? Well, you mean basically what Bob did?
And just say, okay, fine, let's go do this. And then you just guilt trip her and say, poor Mackie, she's probably going to be
I'm not allowing it
right now.
So Methodic John's solution is call her bluff in terms of, yeah, okay, we'll live up in this crappy building, and then as she's realizing how crappy it is, go and follow that up with some passive aggressive. Oh, poor Maggie. I wonder what's happening to her right now.
Exactly.
Is that about right?
Yeah.
Incoming transmission.
Who's that we've got on the line?
Music. Hello.
Well, glad to have you on the show. You're a fan of The Walking Dead, I take it?
Yes, I am.
What would you like to tell us about this episode this week? And music, did you like it? How would you rate it? What worked and didn't work?
I would give it a 7. It was slow, but it was good.
I'm kind of waiting for everyone to really just get back together. But I'm glad they're moving because it's much more exciting than when they were at the prison.
Some of the other categories we got. What do you think was the smartest and dumbest thing on this? What was the smartest thing somebody did, and what was the dumbest thing somebody did this week?
The smartest thing, I would probably have to say with Maggie when she laid down that Chris Walker's brother was coming. That was smart. The dumbest thing was,
Yeah, what the hell was she doing over there? She was just lying on the ground.
I think she knew they were coming. That's what I thought at first. I may be wrong, but I was thinking, okay, she only got up because, or she was going to, or they had passed already, or something. That's what I'm assuming. So probably the dumbest thing, her going on by herself.
Okay, all right, sounds reasonable. Do you have any thoughts about Beth apparently disappearing in that car? Whose car was that? Who's got her?
I don't know. Maybe the hunters are coming. Or of course, it might be the group that might be the group that Daryl's going to be with.
Okay, sounds reasonable.
From the comics.
Yeah. We have an award we give each week called the Walker of the Week Award. That we give to either our favorite Walker of the Week or a character we think behaves in a manner no better than a Walker, somebody who's extra bad. Who would you award that award to this week? Got a favorite Walker or anything?
Oh, boy.
Or somebody who's extra dickly?
Ow! See, what's the problem?
You're asking for it.
Katie, your wife?
The wife is teasing the cat.
Okay. Then she would win that award. Then you don't tease a pussy.
Well, shame on.
And you can.
We're live. Don't play with that thing now.
I mean, it's like this. I have a friend of mine whose mother is Welsh, and she got on the phone with me and talked to me for 20 minutes about her cocks because she raised these chickens. I'm waiting for your wife to do the same thing because I know these are gateway animals. Gateway livestock.
My black hen up on Facebook the other day, and I got people going, quit putting pictures up of your big black cock. I'm like, that is clearly a hen.
It's not that big.
It's so funny.
But it's a hen.
I would say if anything was a really bad character this week, probably would have been Bob at the beginning. He was just basically just being a zombie himself.
Oh, okay.
Before they found him.
The NyQuil was extra nice, and the
yeah, exactly.
And Mr. Sterno.
Hey, it's a good high sometimes.
Hey, you gotta get it where you can, man.
Okay, we have another award we call the Roger Award, which we award to the character we think kicked the most ass in the episode this week.
Oh, Daryl.
But also a character who we think might potentially get killed off at some point. Somebody who doesn't.
Well, it won't be Daryl. They'll be Beth.
Oh, Daryl.
I mean, Beth, Maggie, or Bob. Probably Bob. Bob will sacrifice himself.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think he's expendable.
In that first scene, I kind of wondered if that was it for him when it looked like that zombie bit him. I was like, wow, did we just get Bob's flashback only to have him get killed off right away? But maybe not. Let's see. Okay. I guess that's all the major questions I got. That's all the ones we really got to on the show. Glad you called in. Nice to have you on here.
There is one thing about this episode that I am kind of curious about, though.
What's that?
Mortuary that they went to? The morgue?
Yeah.
Whose food was it?
We were wondering about that, too, whether that was a trap to entice people in so that,
possible
old cars could then zoom in and snatch them up. Snatch them up.
Kind of possible, but the overall thing with the dog, bringing them always coming back. Of course, the dog got killed, but the zombies, when they actually did attack, was that to get people killed? I mean, I guess, but that doesn't make any sense. Anyways, whatever.
Yeah, the way they were
like a very effective
like that, it seemed like maybe somebody engineered that, like the governor used zombies back in prison. Like maybe somebody put those zombies at the door to, get people running out of the house so they could get snatched or something. But I don't know.
I guess maybe they were doing it so they can. Maybe, but it just, I don't know. Seems kind of silly. Seems like a very convoluted way of trying to kidnap a girl. But then again, these people have nothing else to do because there is no internet.
Yeah. Internet is newspaper. Daryl told us that a couple of weeks ago. This is your internet right here. So how are you liking this season so far? How are you liking it stacked up to, what's come before? What are you thinking of this new Gimple guy?
With who?
The new showrunner, Scott Gimple. How do you think he's doing? Yeah. What do you think of the quality of the show?
The first part of the season was boring. I did enjoy when the virus, when it did break out, and people, when they had that walk at station. But generally, it was boring. Really, the death of the governor, we knew it was coming, but it seemed so anticlimactic. It wasn't funny. I really, really wish he had got chunked on instead of just shot. So, more of a, really seeing him ripped apart. This is what you've done to all these people, and now these people that are dead are going to do it to you. And it's very, very boring. Seeing Herschel's head being at the beginning of the mid-season premiere was good. It's gotten much better now that everybody is, traveling, because they've got so much more danger that they have to deal with.
I do like the on-the-road stuff. I have really enjoyed that. And I feel like the writing for the characters seems to have gotten better. I just feel like, generally speaking, the character interactions are better in this second half of the season. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
well,
they've gotten much better. So,
I'm down with the baby smothering. That was pretty. What's her name? Lizzie?
Yeah, Lizzie.
You should stay away from Daryl.
You should stay away from Daryl.
For some reason, it doesn't surprise me over that horrible joke you just told that you're into smothering babies.
Hey.
I can totally see that.
No, Mrs. Drano has stated unequivocally on the show before that the proper way to dispose of a baby is with a neck break, not by smothering. Especially not with kimchi.
The smothering comes later. When you're cooking, you smother it in gravy.
Mushrooms, smothered, scattered, covered. Oh, that's hash browns.
It's like a blooming onion. It's like a blooming baby. That's true. And speaking of getting back together, my wife is not a fan of the whole Beth Daryl thing. What's your position on that?
Of what thing with Daryl?
Yeah. Are you in favor of this Beth Daryl relationship thing, or are you
First
not
off,
so much
the
a fan
character's
of it?
not 11, I don't think, or this would be bad. And the peanut butter scene, that was kind of disturbing. Other than that, I honestly don't care. I really don't think. Yeah, I think he looks at her like little sister, and that's as far as it's going to go.
Beth.
Quarantine failure.
Maybe in a couple of years, if she's alive.
Warning.
Okay.
Imminent.
It looks like we're going to have to wrap the show up because we're out of time. Next week's episode is, what the hell is next week's episode?
40 seconds to quarantine failure.
Next week's episode is The Grove. Thank you guys. Get all join us for tonight.
30 seconds to quarantine failure.
Yeah, we just ran out of time. I will look forward to hopefully seeing you guys again next week. Good to have you on the show, and hopefully you'll join us again next week.
Countermeasures
For the story. Well, but we keep going now. So from all of us here at the Ground, thanks to Namaste.
Four, 3, 2, 1.
Mr. Bad Robot.
Call recording has been completed.
Goodbye.
Well, it looks like my internet crashed, so that means the episode's over.
Hey, Sheriff Rick. This is Patrick.
I've been watching all you folks' travels here with everyone else. You sure have been crisscrossing over each other's tracks. Hope you catch up to everyone real soon. Hopefully you will all find yourselves in Terminus. Sure sounds great. Herschel, well, he wanted to talk to you, but he's real upset. Words just fail him. Looks like Beth is some serious trouble. Luckily, Daryl's on the case, and that man is one real-life hero. If there's anyone who can find and rescue her, it's him. Sure wish I could have been a man more like him. I worked with Otis on a little song just describing how great Daryl is. Hit it, Otis! Well, Beth, don't you ever be sad. Lean on Daryl when times are bad. And when the day comes and you've been taken in a river of trouble and I'm trapped in a trunk, just hold on, back me up, Otis. Yeah! Daryl's coming. Daryl's coming. Now hold on. I'm on my way, your crossbow companion. When you get captured, I'll be your champion. Don't have to worry, 'cause I'm here. No need to suffer, 'cause I'm coming. Daryl coming. Daryl, come on. Yeah. I'm coming. Hold on. Daryl's coming. Reach out to me for protection. Call my name. I'll leap into action. Yeah. Don't worry, Beth. 'Cause Daryl's coming. Yeah. 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 Now, Beth, don't you ever feel sad. Lean on Daryl when times are bad. When the day comes and you've been taken in a river of trouble, trapped in a trunk, just hold on. 'Cause Daryl's coming. Yeah, hold on. Daryl's coming. Hold on, Beth. He's on the way. Have hope, Beth. Daryl's on the way.
They hung a sign up in our town. If you live it up, you won't live it down. So she left Monte Rio's son, just like a bullet leaves a gun. With a charcoal eyes and Monroe hips, she went and took that California trip. Oh, the moon was gold and her hair like wind. Said, don't look back, just come on, Jim. Oh, you got to hold on, hold on. You got to hold on, taking my hand, standing right here, you got to hold on. Well, he gave her a dime store watch and a ring made from a spoon. Everyone's looking for someone to blame. And you share my bed, you share my name. Well, go ahead, call the cops. You don't meet nice girls in coffee shops. She said, baby, I still love you. Sometimes there's nothing left to do. Oh, but you got to hold on. Baby, gotta hold on and take my hand. Standing right here, you gotta hold on. Well, God bless your crooked little heart. St. Louis got the best of me. I miss your broken China voice. How I wish you were still here with me. Oh, you build it up, you wreck it down, then you burn your mansion to the ground. Oh, there's nothing left to keep you here. But when you're falling behind in this big blue world, oh, you've got to hold on. Baby, gotta hold on, take my hand, standing right here, gotta hold on. Down by the Riverside Motel, it's thin below and falling by a 99-cent store. She closed her eyes and started swaying. But it's so hard to dance that way when it's cold and there's no music. Oh, your old hometown so far away, but inside your head there's a record that's playing a song called Hold On, Hold On. Baby, gotta hold on to take a mind. Standing right there, gotta hold on. You gotta hold on. Baby, gotta hold on. Take a mind. Standing right there, gotta hold on. You gotta hold on. Baby, gotta hold on and take a mind. Standing right here, you gotta hold on. You gotta hold on. Baby, gotta hold on and take my hand. Standing right here, you gotta hold on. 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 You gotta hold on, baby. You gotta hold on, girl. You gotta hold on.